So after 3 days of using a headset and receiving subpar vocal quality as a result, it's back to the Yeti for the rest of this week. Trust me, you want to be as comfortable as possible playing these things, and, well, the headset provided that, but clearly the end result wasn't quite up to par. But then again, not up to par is exactly the MO for ATGames products. Case in point, our next game, Cannon, where you control a cannon, or rather, not really, you just watch the little cursor go up and down, and you press a button, and then you watch a meter go up and down, and you press a button, and then your cannon lobs a cannonball at your enemy cannon, and then the enemy cannon takes its turn to do the same thing, and go back and forth until one of you hit each other, and you either win or you lose. Because that's a thing you could do in Cannon, and most AtGames games, they have that sort of you lose or something like that. And that's pretty much all you do in Cannon. You wait for a little cursor to go up and down to aim at the right angle, and then you press a button, and you wait for the meter to go up and down at the right moment for the appropriate power to be lobbed behind that cannon shot. And you have to hit the target. You cannot be a couple inches before or after. It has to be precisely on target for the enemy to melt, and you win and you go back to the title screen, and that's all there really is to it. It's not an exciting game. It's... it reminds me of a game called Scorched Earth, which is a really old DOS game, and the funny thing is that Scorched Earth is a much more involved and much more interesting game than what Cannon does. Because Scorched Earth had different terrains, and you had different types of cannons, and you could actually, choose the kind of weapons you want to lob at your enemies and that sort of thing, and it was a little more involved. Whereas Cannon, you're just lobbing cannonballs back and forth, and the only real interesting thing introduced to the mechanics of the gameplay is wind, which sometimes happens and sometimes doesn't, and when wind occurs, you have to compensate for the wind. So sometimes you gotta undershot if the wind is going, in the opposite direction, and, the wind goes the one way, and you gotta compensate for the direction of the wind because, the wind is a factor. But beyond that, it's just the same dull, boring gameplay of two cannons on both sides of the screen, and one cannon on each side, and... Okay, this is not an actually interesting game in the slightest, to be honest with you. I don't even know why I brought up Scorched Earth. I'd much rather be playing Scorched Earth at the moment. It is a DOS game, so I shouldn't have a problem running it, unlike the previous game where, I needed an older Windows, but I digress. Boo. Okay, let's listen to the ugly music. Okay, on second thought, let's not. Oh dear. Yeah, I've got nothing, to be honest with you. And I still got one more day to cover up this crap. And then we'll get to... And then we'll get to the usual... I don't know. I just don't... I don't even know anymore. I really... Why am I... This Canon makes you question life decisions and stuff like that. Actually, it really doesn't. It's not that taxing to the brain, but yeah, this is obviously not a good game. There's not much to say about it. There's not much to it, and yeah, that's all I got. Good night. Oh wait, I still have a minute left to fill. I'll tell you what, just to make things interesting, here's some audio from the headset period where I attempt to find words to talk about Cannon and, fail miserably. So, have fun. Actually, what is us living? Anyways, look, it's Cannon. You lob cannons at each other. It's not all that fun. It's only a one-button game, but at the very least, you just press the button when you're in the right position, both in the gauge and the thing, and that's all there is to it. There's not much really... It's one of the weaker games on the that I've sampled, which isn't really saying much, but regardless, that was Cannon. I'm going to play some Scorched Earth and, wipe the awful taste from this game out of my mouth. Thank you.